Hey everybody, Steve-O here for Movies and TVs on the Ball, and I just did a review of The Nutty Professor 1, and it got me thinking that Eddie Murphy did two remakes that ended up having sequels that were both made in the 60s. The originals were made in the 60s and 70s. You had The Nutty Professor, which I think was 1950s, with Jerry Lewis um, and then of course Rex Harrison's Doctor Dolittle, and Eddie Murphy did remakes of both of those films, kind of the '90s. You had Nutty Professor, which came out in 1996, and you had Doctor Dolittle that came out in 1998, and I really like Doctor Dolittle probably more than Nutty Professor, but they actually had sequels that came out 2 years apart as well. You had in 2000, you had Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, which was a sequel, and I think actually had Janet Jackson star versus Jada Pinkett Smith in it. And in 2001, a year right after Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, you had Doctor Dolittle 2, which was more about Dolittle saving the forest and trying to get the forest saved. That was interesting about the two Doctor Dolittle films is that Doctor Dolittle 1 and Doctor Dolittle 2, Doctor Dolittle 1 was actually PG-13, and Doctor Dolittle 2, the MPAA made it PG, which I felt kind of was right because there wasn't as much in Doctor Dolittle 2. It was more family friendly. It wasn't a didn't have the potty humor kind of thing, and I really kind of think Doctor Dolittle 2 was a lot more friendlier. But Doctor Dolittle 1 is kind of got a connection. But would be a really good, interesting. I guess where I'm going with this is I really kind of think it's interesting that Eddie Murphy did two remake movies that ended up getting sequels, and I think it'd be really cool to have kind of compare and contrast both the Rex Harrison Doctor Dolittle to Eddie Murphy's Doctor Dolittle, and as I've done already, the Jerry Lewis Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy's Nutty Professor, the first one, and I was kind of curious. What's your thoughts on Eddie Murphy's remake films, Nutty Professor versus Doctor Dolittle? Were you more a fan of Nutty Professor? Did you like Nutty Professor 1 more than Nutty Professor 2? Did you like Nutty Professor 2? Do you feel like the sequels were great? Did you look at Doctor Dolittle and thought that the Eddie Murphy's Doctor Dolittle, the first one was a lot more PG-13, when PG-13 kind of meant something, and Doctor Dolittle 2 was more family friendly? I just kind of was curious. Let me know in the comments below, and as always, like and subscribe. Peace.